What's up guys, Mike here, and yes, the NBA is almost back. After 4 months, we are almost back to a life filled with live basketball, which means we have absolutely no idea what's about to happen. Because of course, a near 4-month suspension in play due to a pandemic has never happened before in NBA history, so that means we're pretty much in uncharted waters here. And because of this 4-month suspension in play, because some players are not going to be going to the bubble in Orlando, some people are already saying there's going to be an asterisk next to the NBA champion this season, but honestly, who cares? We have NBA basketball back. To me, and I'm sure to you too, that is an amazing thing, and to celebrate this, let's look at storylines headed into the NBA's comeback that no one is really talking about, or at least talking about as much as LeBron, the Clippers, and Giannis. And guys, I'm excited to say that this video is sponsored by Keeps, and did you know 2 out of 3 guys will experience some form of male pattern baldness by the age of 35. The best way to prevent hair loss is to do something about it while you still have hair left. And the thing is, you don't have to go broke to keep the hair on the top of your head, because Keeps has revolutionized the way that men are treated for hair loss. They make it so instead of having an awkward doctor visit and then a pharmacy experience, you can just go to keeps.com and they'll deliver your medication once every 3 months. Plus guys, I want to emphasize here, again, prevention is key. In order to keep your hair, you do want to treat it while you still have hair, and treatments can take up to 4 to 6 months to start seeing results, so you want to act fast. Which means guys, now I'm telling you, take action, prevent your hair loss. Go to keeps.com/MikeKorzemba or click the link in the description to receive 50% off your first order. That's keeps.com/MikeKorzemba. Again guys, you're going to be getting 50% off your first order, an absolutely amazing deal to keep the hair on your head where it belongs. Anyway, let's start this video off with Jayson Tatum. Now early on during the NBA stoppage, Jayson Tatum did make some big news when he said he hadn't been playing basketball, but as the months went on, that certainly changed. And so when the players returned, when Tatum was asked what he worked on during the lockout, he responded with, quote, "I can get better at everything." So I guess the answer is just trying to take it up another level. Now, the Boston Celtics Twitter themselves described this as scary, and if Tatum is able to take his game to the next level, I'd have to agree with them. Because after a promising rookie season that saw him dunk on LeBron James, it can only be said that Jayson Tatum had a subpar second season compared to the expectations placed on him, as he averaged just 15.7 points and 6 rebounds a game in year 2. However, like I said, Tatum has improved significantly in year 3 and is now putting up 23.6 points and 7.1 rebounds a night, numbers that are especially impressive when you consider that at the young age of 22, Tatum is already the clear-cut number 2 option for one of the top contenders in the East. And what's even more obvious here to me is that Jayson Tatum is the perfect example of the new age star wing player in the modern NBA. As when comparing his stats to all-time NBA greats, Jayson Tatum stands alone as the only player to ever average 23 points, 7 rebounds, and 2 3-pointers made in his 3rd year. That is of course incredibly impressive, and these numbers are also very similar to another former star small forward on the Boston Celtics, Paul Pierce. Pierce put up 25.3 points and 6.4 rebounds per game while connecting on 1.8 3-pointers in his 3rd season. The difference is, again, Tatum is helping to carry a contender while Pierce played for a 36-win team, and so I'm sure Boston Celtics fans everywhere are very excited about Jayson Tatum's future. And if Tatum is able to raise his game up to another level in the playoffs, we have to consider the Boston Celtics as a real contender to reach the NBA Finals, but of course, that remains to be seen. Moving on, looking at one of the other top 3rd-year players in the league, we have Donovan Mitchell, who is in a bit of a more drama-filled situation than Jayson Tatum. Because if you remember, Donovan Mitchell caught the coronavirus from his all-star teammate Rudy Gobert, and because of this, the past 4 months have been hectic. At one point, Donovan had this caption on his Instagram, quote, "We are all learning more about the seriousness of this situation, and hopefully people can continue to educate themselves and realize that they need to behave responsibly both for their own health and for the well-being of those around them," which was an obvious dig at Rudy Gobert, who did not take the coronavirus seriously in its early stages. Then on April 10th, the Athletic Athletic published a story that said that the relationship between Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert, quote, doesn't appear salvageable. But luckily, after having a few months to cool off, Donovan has said that his current relationship with Rudy is in a strong spot, saying right now we're good. We're going out there ready to hoop. Obviously, Rudy and I had COVID and whatever happened, but now we're ready to hoop and focused on the team as a whole. The thing is though, reading between the lines here, you can see that Donovan Mitchell is focused on the team, and if the Utah Jazz as a whole struggle in the playoffs this season, they really have to ask themselves the question, do they continue trying with a Donovan Mitchell Rudy Gobert combo, or do they trade Rudy Gobert this offseason? And based on a ton of NBA rumors that are flying around right now, if the Jazz do struggle in the playoffs, it does look like Rudy Gobert may be gone this offseason. That of course would be a giant storyline if it happens, but sticking to storylines in the NBA right now, Brandon Ingram was drafted a year before Mitchell and Tatum, but Ingram is yet another young player who is starting to ascend to star status, because just like Jayson Tatum, Ingram also made his first All-Star game in 2020, but was somewhat forgotten when Zion Williamson burst onto the scene. The thing is though, Ingram is a seriously special talent, as this season he has joined a list of just 7 other players to average at least 24 points, 6 rebounds, and 4 assists a game at the age of 22 or younger. This is a list that consists of mainly Hall of Fame players, and based on Ingram's progression as a player, the Hall of Fame is now not an unreachable goal. This is especially true due to Brandon Ingram's work ethic, as his teammate JJ Redick had this to say about Ingram's mindset. Quote, he's someone who has a real desire to be great. He's willing to put in the work to make that happen. He's got some natural ability and natural gifts, but you don't develop into a great shooter, a great finisher, a great ball handler without being in the gym. His game sort of speaks for itself in terms of the amount of work he's put in. He's a future all-NBA player. I think he's already a great player, but he has a chance to be really special. And with the company that Ingram joined, as shown in the chart before, he is certainly on a very special path. Continuing on though, let's now talk about a team that everybody loves to talk about, and that team is the Miami Heat. Now, the Miami Heat have been the surprise team of this season, but their success was no surprise to Jimmy Butler, a man who set the tone early when he arrived to training camp at 3 in the morning on a consistent basis. This showed his younger teammates exactly what it took to be successful, and despite only having the 14th highest odds to win a championship of any team coming into this season, the Heat currently do have the 8th best record in the entire NBA and are 4th in the Eastern Conference. So again, it is safe to say that Miami has exceeded expectations up until this point, and a few factors have helped them here. The rise of Bam Adebayo into an all-star was certainly a pleasant surprise, and after averaging 16.2 points, 10.5 rebounds, and 5.1 assists per game this season at the age of 22, Bam has developed himself into one of the more versatile forwards in the entire league and has given Miami a cornerstone for years to come. And aside from Bam, one of the other huge reasons that the Heat have been able to surpass expectations has been the play of rookies Tyler Hero and Chris Nunn, 2 players who were not expected to do much in their first years in the league, but instead have come through in a big way. They've come up huge with a combined 28.8 points, 5.3 assists, and 6.7 rebounds per game, numbers that have certainly helped the Heat to the 4th spot in the East. And speaking of stepping up, it feels like every player on Miami's roster has found their role and is thriving in. For instance, as a rookie, Duncan Robinson played in just 15 games and averaged just 3.3 points per game, but now as a second-year player, he's connecting on 3.7 three-pointers a game on almost 45% shooting from deep. Then we have Derrick Jones Jr., who's good for both some big-time baskets and some big-time highlights on a nightly basis. And as for veteran leadership, we've got Andre Iguodala, Jay Crowder, Kelly Olynyk, and Myers Leonard, 4 players who all have the type of playoff experience that can help their younger teammates thrive in a playoff setting. And speaking of veterans, the Heat also have Goran Dragic, a former All-Star who is now averaging 16.1 points and 5.1 assists off the bench, numbers that have certainly established him as one of the best 6 men in the league. And so, with Jimmy Butler leading the way, Miami did become one of the most fun teams to watch in the regular season, and now it's time to see if this team is legit. It's time to see if they can do some damage in the playoffs. This is especially important because it has been reported that Miami is one of the teams in a very strong position to trade for Giannis if he does want to leave the Bucks. So if the Miami Heat are able to exceed expectations in the playoffs, well, then that's only going to make the case for Giannis to go there even stronger. And there we have it, guys. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did like this video, make sure to leave a like on the video, and if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe for more videos and turn post notifications on on. If you're already subscribed, you're awesome. We all know it. And as always, guys, have an awesome day and cue that music. By the way, if you're still here while the music is cued, here are 2 videos I think you are going to love watching. All you have to do is just click on either one of them on the screen right here. And other than that, guys, again, have a great day and peace.